Welcome to Cut Studio 10. I'm Don G. So just to give you a little quick background about myself and the reason for this channel, is mostly speaking to, new and upcoming barbers. Guys that are just graduating from barber school. They expect to be highly skilled. They expect to be successful and make a certain type of money straight out the gate. And it doesn't work that way. But just to give you a quick background about myself, I've been a barber for 32 years. I've been a professional barber for the past 26 years. When I was a kid, I was never able to have the haircuts or the hairstyles, I should say, that I've always wanted. All my friends, they were able to have fades and Caesars and, things of that nature. While I was always stuck with an afro. My father would not let me get a trendy haircut like the rest of my friends. I've always had to stick with this afro. And I've never been to the barbershop until 1990. 1990 was the first time I've ever been to a barbershop. All my life prior to that, my uncle, he was my barber. And crazy, I have those pair of clippers that he used to use on me. To this day, I still have them. I'm a clipper junkie. So I went to get my first haircut in the barbershop in 1989, 1990. And I fell in love with it. Being in the culture, watching all the barbers, seeing the people waiting and the congregating and how everyone was. So I've had this enormous interest in barbering and cutting hair, and for some reason I just gravitated to it. So one day my cousin came to my house for the weekend, and it was just us in the house, and our mothers, they went out. I don't know where they went, but they went out and left us kids in the house alone. It was probably like 12, 11. And I told my cousin, I lied to him. I said, yo, listen, man, I know how to cut hair. I cut all my friends' hair. He goes, you do? I said, yeah. I said, you should let me give you a haircut. He goes, I just got a haircut. So I said to him, don't worry, man, I won't mess it up. I cut everyone's hair. Like, I cut hair now. So my aunt, she lived upstairs. Her room was upstairs. And she used to have this battery-operated clipper in her room. So we snuck up to her room, because like I said, they were all out. So we snuck up to her room, took the clipper, went back downstairs to my room, and I gave him a haircut. It wasn't good, and we got in some serious trouble by the time everyone came home, because the first thing his mother asked him was, what happened to your hair? And he threw me under the bus. First thing he said was, Donovan did it. So we got in some big trouble, but I remember cutting his hair. I was just into it. And about a week and a half to 2 weeks later, I spoke to one of my other aunts, my mother's. There's 5 of them. Their youngest sister. She was a cool aunt. Her name is Carol. So, we used to run to her for everything, talk to her about everything. So I spoke to her and she says, yo, I heard what you and your cousin Apache did. I heard you cut his hair. I said, yeah, we had gotten in trouble. She said, well, I saw it and it didn't look that bad. That's all I needed to hear, man. Once she said that, it didn't look bad, that was it. I never looked back. So now, a few months passed, summertime came or springtime came, it's nice outside. Telling all my friends, yeah, I cut hair, man, I cut hair, man, I cut hair. Another friend of mine who lived next door, he said his dad had a pair of clippers in the bedroom. He snuck in his dad's bedroom, took the clippers, came back out, and that was it. We in the backyard. I'm messing people up like crazy, but I'm telling everyone that I cut hair just to get the practice in, just to get my experience in. And as I grew and, later on into my teenage years, I never stopped cutting hair. I just got better and better on my own. Cutting hair in backyards, in my bedroom, and, my friends' rooms or the living room. Wherever I can, cut hair, I cut hair. Using clippers we would take from, my friends' parents or whatever. So one day I'm at my grandmother's house in White Plains, and I say to my Uncle David, God rest his soul, They always had clippers. Him and my other uncles, they've always had, clippers that said Sears on it or Astor or whatever. They've always had clippers laying around the house because they used to cut their own hair. And I asked my uncle for one of those clippers. He said, "You want it?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "You could take it." I was like, "All right." I took the clippers. Never looked back, man. I've been cutting hair ever since. That was started in 1989. By the time 1995 came around, I got into my first barbershop. I became a licensed barber in 1997. So after 1997, I'm now working as a licensed barber. I opened my own shop in 2004, and from that point, the rest is history. So that's just a quick little background on myself. I created this channel to be able to speak to my new and upcoming barbers. Through my journey, I've learned a lot, and I want to share it with you guys. When you guys are coming out of barber school, I have some friends that just came out of barber school, maybe a few years ago, some a few months ago, and I've been mentoring barbers over the years, and they all ask the same questions. They want to know how to improve on their fades, their haircuts, their timing, how to make money, things like that in this business, and they want to rush the process. You cannot rush this process. It took me, 20 years to be an overnight success. And the last 10 years I've been, maintaining that and continuing to evolve. And I also come from an era where it was organic. We didn't have any internet, no cell phones, no social media, nothing. So we genuinely had to build ourselves in an organic way, through word of mouth and flyers and business cards and walking about the neighborhood. When I didn't have any clients in the chair, I would walk around, talk to people. Well, I walk down my neighborhood in Queens Village, where my shop is and where it has been from the time I started cutting hair. I'm just a known face in the neighborhood because everyone has known me for many years. I've also grown up in Queens Village. I moved to Queens in 88, I believe, the summer of 88, from Red Hook, Brooklyn. Back to my new barbers. You cannot rush this process. There is a secret to barbering, to having longevity in this business, to being successful in this business. There is a secret, and in this video I will reveal a secret, but you gotta watch this whole video. To be a successful barber, it is a mindset, it is a lifestyle that you have to live. And I also want to incorporate the importance of exercising, in your daily life, like to have a good workout regimen as part of your daily routine. Also, a healthy eating habits. Make smart choices when you eat, even when you're cooking your own foods or whatever. Make the healthy foods. Like a barber cannot have longevity eating fast food. And when you're in a shop, it's always, you're gonna find yourself spending so many hours throughout the day in there. You're gonna get hungry, and every time you get a chance to eat, you're gonna run next door to the Chinese restaurant or some other kind of junk, and you don't want that. So what you want to do is meal prep, pack your foods, take it to the shop with you, and then you'll save money. This way you're not buying food in the street every day. My new barbers, take your time, trust the process, pay attention to every barber you're around. Every barber has something to give you. You can learn from everyone, all barbers. Pay attention to their fade techniques, their cutting techniques. Pay attention to their good habits as well as their bad habits, because you will come across barbers with bad habits. I've been around barbers. I've even had barbers that worked for me, and first thing they did in the morning before they came to the barbershop was smoke. They would smoke, weed or whatever. Bad habits. So they'll show up to work high, and for some reason they put it in their mind that they perform better. They'll be pushing hairlines back, making things crooked, breath stinking. Toothpaste didn't even kick in yet from brushing their teeth in the morning, and they're already smoking. And you would have a lot of unhappy customers, and the clients won't come back. Try to start your day off with a good healthy breakfast, a good exercise routine. Start your day that way, and then you come to the shop. Come to the shop with a clear mind and the willingness to outperform yourself today than what you did yesterday. You know, every day you should strive to be better as a barber than you were the day before. Before we go further, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to like this video and subscribe to this channel. You know, and click the bell icon so you can be notified when new videos are uploaded. The main secret to being a successful barber and to have longevity as a successful barber, the number one secret is always be on time. Post your hours up and be on time. Stick to your schedule that you post up, because the people need to know they can depend on you to be there when they need you. It's not a matter of how skillful you are or how dope of a haircut you can do, how great you are with enhancements and tricks and gadgets. Those things help. You know, you always want to give a quality product to your client. But the main secret to being a successful barber is reliability, dependability. Most people will stick with a barber that's not that skillful over a person that's more skillful just because they're more reliable. And it was always important for me to remain consistent at being reliable. Granted, I'm a skillful barber. You know, not to toot my own horn, but I'm pretty nice. It's that reliability that carried me through. You know, as the industry changed, I was able to reform and adapt to the new ways of barbering. When the enhancements became a thing, I made sure to seek someone that can teach it to me. You know, I got education on this new way of barbering, the way the industry evolved to. You know, because like I said, I came from an era none of these things existed. That's one that you want to keep in your back pocket. And remember that, being reliable. So when your client makes an appointment with you, or if you take walk-ins, no matter what formula you use, you want to be reliable with that. And I stress that, and I keep repeating it. Reliability, be there. The man who gave me that particular secret, also the same man who gave me my first barbershop haircut back in 1989, 1990. His name was Tate. Sometimes I wonder whatever happened to him. He was an old man by the time, he retired. But he opened his barbershop back in 1969, 112 in Springfield Boulevard in Queens Village. Tate was a vet. I went to him right before I opened my shop, about maybe 2 weeks before I opened my own shop. I went to him and I said to him, I said, listen, you may not remember me. I used to come here when I was a little boy. And I said, I'm a barber now, and I'm about to open my own shop, 2 weeks from today. And I asked him, was there anything he can, tell me or teach me that will give me longevity in this business like he had? And he said to me, always be on time. And then he stopped speaking. And I stood there waiting for more. And he laughed at me. He said, you waiting for more, right? I said, yeah. He goes, no, that's it. Because that's the secret. Always be on time. So post your hours up, stick to your schedule. Your people need to know they can depend on you to be there when they need you. There's other factors now involved that come after that principle, but that's the number one principle. After that, everything else comes, maybe we'll save that for another video. That's what we'll do. We'll save those other tips and secrets and those other principles for another video. Can't give you it all one shot. All right, stay tuned. Cut Studio 10, I'm Don G. Thanks for tuning in. Talk to you soon.